Hello and welcome back to Money Moves Daily, Japan. It's Wednesday, September 3rd. I'm Sophia Reyes.
And I'm Jason Miller. Sophia, the markets are certainly buzzing today, especially after a standout performance from SoftBank that pushed the Topix to a new milestone. But we're also seeing some mixed signals on the broader economic front.
That's right, Jason. We'll be diving deep into SoftBank's surprising Q2 profit surge, what it means for the AI investment landscape, and how it's reshaping the Topix. We'll also break down the latest economic data, including some eye-opening inflation figures and the persistent labor crunch in Japan.
Plus, we've got some quick hits on recent business sentiment, ongoing trade discussions, and later we'll tell you about a key data release at the end of the month that everyone will be watching. So, let's get into it.
All right, Jason, let's start with what truly dominated headlines recently. SoftBank. The tech giant just reported a massive Q2 profit of 422 billion yen, which is roughly $2.9 billion. This is a dramatic turnaround from a loss a year prior, and it sent their shares rocketing over 13% in a single day.
Over 13%? That's huge for a company of SoftBank's size. What exactly drove this, Sophia? Was it just one big win or a broader strategy finally paying off? And more importantly, what did that do for the wider market?
It's a culmination of their all-in AI strategy, Jason. They credited surging valuations across their AI-heavy investment portfolio. This performance single-handedly pushed Japan's Topix index above 3,000 for the first time ever.
It speaks volumes about the current AI frenzy we're witnessing globally, even if we've seen some volatility.
So, for the everyday investor, this isn't just about SoftBank, it's a huge signal about where money is flowing, isn't it? If the Topix is hitting records because of AI, should I be rushing to buy every AI stock I can find? Not so fast, Jason. While the AI gold rush is certainly a major theme of 2025, it's not without its risks. We saw companies like Advanced Micro Devices and Super Microcomputer plunge after underwhelming earnings recently, briefly shaking investor faith in the AI hardware rally.
It underscores the importance of selective investment in understanding underlying fundamentals, not just hype.
That's a good dose of reality, Jason. So a new high for Topix, but a reminder that even in hot sectors, it's a wild ride. Let's switch gears a bit to the broader Japanese economy. What are the latest numbers telling us about how people are spending and businesses are performing? The picture is quite interesting, Jason. While industrial production has remained flat, overall business sentiment, firms' profit projections, and fixed investment plans are still elevated. Private consumption has also been surprisingly resilient. This suggests underlying strength despite some of the macroeconomic headwinds.
Resilient consumption with flat production? That almost sounds contradictory. What's driving that resilience, especially if businesses aren't necessarily ramping up their output? And speaking of businesses, are they facing any big challenges right now?
A key factor appears to be the strong labor market. The Bank of Japan's Tankan survey highlights acute labor shortages, particularly in non-manufacturing sectors like hotels and restaurants. This implies solid employment, which supports consumer spending. But it also means businesses are struggling to find staff, which could limit growth potential. And adding to consumer pressures, the July headline CPI inflation rate stood at 3.1%, notably exceeding the BOJ's 2% target, with food prices contributing a significant 2.1 percentage points.
Ah, inflation. So while people have jobs, their wallets might not be stretching as far, especially for those visiting Japan. A 3.1% inflation rate combined with a potentially volatile yen could mean their travel budget gets hit harder than expected. It's a classic squeeze.
Exactly. It's a balancing act for the Bank of Japan, too, as they monitor these figures closely for any shifts in their policy outlook.
Let's do some quick hits on other notable headlines. What else caught your eye in the past few days, Sophia?
First up, the Reuters Tankan Index for Japanese manufacturers showed improved sentiment in August, rising to +9 from +7 in July. This was largely driven by a recent trade agreement between Tokyo and Washington that lowered U.S. tariffs on cars and other goods.
So, a positive development on the trade front, which is always good news for global supply chains and Japanese exporters. What's next?
Well, despite that agreement, the ongoing discussion around U.S. reciprocal tariffs on Japan, particularly in the auto sector, remains a watch point. While the rates have been lowered to 15% from 25% for some goods, it's a reminder of the fragility of global trade relations.
Always tariffs, it seems. It's exhausting to keep up with, and it just adds uncertainty for businesses trying to plan ahead. Anything else?
And finally, while the Nikkei has shown some resilience reflecting the broader Topix strength we discussed, the volatility in individual high-growth sectors, especially those tied to AI hardware, continues to be a key theme.
All right, Sophia, before we wrap up, what should our listeners be keeping an eye on for the next 24 to 48 hours, or even a bit further out this month?
The next big one on the economic calendar is the official Japan Tankan Large Manufacturing Outlook release, which is due on Tuesday, September 30th. This will provide a comprehensive snapshot of business conditions and expectations across a broad range of large manufacturers and will be crucial for gauging economic health.
So, a full picture of how the big players in Japanese industry are feeling about the future. That's a pretty important indicator. What are the potential implications, then, for the markets and, of course, the yen?
If the Tankan survey shows a continued improvement in sentiment, it could further bolster confidence in Japan's economic recovery and potentially strengthen the yen. Conversely, a weaker than expected reading could dampen spirits and put renewed pressure on the currency. All eyes will be on whether the manufacturing sector can maintain its positive trajectory amid global uncertainties and domestic labor challenges.
A lot to unpack today. We saw SoftBank's AI bets pay off big time, boosting the Topix to record highs even as the broader economy grapples with inflation and labor shortages. And we're definitely marking our calendars for that Tankan survey at the end of the month.
Indeed, Jason, another dynamic day in the Japanese markets.
That's all for today's Money Moves Daily Japan. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review.
We'll be back tomorrow with more critical developments. Until then, keep those money moves smart.